Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Anda sedang menonton Bisnes Awal ini bersama saya Syarkawi Salahuddin. Setiap tahun usahawan tahunan Ernst & Young dari serata dunia akan berkumpul di Monte Carlo sebelum seorang dipilih usahawan terbaik sedunia. Dan untuk mengikuti perkembangannya, kita ikuti laporan yang disediakan editor Rizal Zulkifli di Monte Carlo.
Hai, anda bersama saya Rizal Zulkifli dan saya ketika ini bersama dengan Ketua Setiausaha Kementerian Perdagangan Antarabangsa dan juga Industri, Datuk Dr. Rebecca Fatimah Maria, dan kita akan bincangkan tentang peranan kerajaan dan juga dalam usaha untuk membantu usahawan di Malaysia dan apakah yang akan beliau kongsikan bersama dengan usahawan di Monte Carlo dalam WEOY 2014. Hi Datuk, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Now, Datuk, first of all, let's talk about the role of government, especially in Malaysia, in terms of when it comes to helping entrepreneurs. We know that the government has a lot of grants and packages out there to help entrepreneurs. But what are some of the current things that you can share with us, and what are some of the things that are in the pipeline that MITI can share with us?
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity to share with you. Even as we speak now, the SMEDEX, the SME exhibition, international exhibition, is going on in Kuala Lumpur, and there is a showcase of entrepreneurs and what they can do, SMEs specifically, what they can do not only among the Malaysian entrepreneurs but also internationally. So you get a good opportunity there already to benchmark. That's a big one of our bigger events in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur. That is specifically for SMEs. Now on entrepreneurs, the whole if you look at the Ministry of International Trade and the work we do, we have the whole chain of programs to facilitate the growth and development of entrepreneurs. We start, at the bahagian pembangunan usahawan. We look at developing the SMEs, the entrepreneurs, from micro enterprises to become small, to become medium, and then to grow. We have Halal Development Corporation to help entrepreneurs who are interested in the halal segment. Then once they are more assured, they're starting to grow, we have SME Corp to take them to the next level. We have various programs and incentives to help them. SME Corp also coordinates the programs across the government. There's so many agencies and ministries that do this, so they coordinate it. Once the SMEs are more confident and more export ready, we hand them over to MATRE, and MATRE then prepares them to go into the international market. So this is the whole chain that we've done. Then MIDA, what MIDA does is MIDA brings in investors, right? And these investors then are put in contact with our own local vendors and entrepreneurs and SMEs, so that they then have another channel of access to help them grow, to be suppliers to the bigger global value and supply chain. So those are things that we have in place.
But would it be correct to say or to assume that there's no excuse not to succeed in Malaysia as an entrepreneur with all this help that MITI and the government has put forth?
Yeah, well, there are incentives and there are programs, but it's up to the entrepreneurs to take advantage of them. There is there's always a learning process. And we try and work with the entrepreneurs to help them take advantage of the facilities. And now we're also looking at this whole concept that failure is not a bad thing. The important thing about failure is that you pick yourself up, you learn, you move on. And for that reason, we are also looking at the Bankruptcy Act, the Insolvency Act, to ensure that to pass on this message that it's failure is not the what you call this, is not the final thing. If you fail once, you can learn from that experience and you move on, and that is how you see entrepreneurs growing and developing in the US and other developed markets. So that's something that we are also doing.
Entrepreneurs may have their own ways of quantifying success. How do you as part of the government quantify the success success rate of the entrepreneurs that you've trained and you've given grants to and support to?
Well, one is that they've managed to grow. They've got a bigger market in that sense. And another important gauge is their ability to supply to the bigger companies. If they can supply to international companies, they've made it. That means they've met the quality, the standards, the delivery times. They've done it. The other also is when we are able to see them export. That means they've been able to access the international markets. That for us is an amazing thing. But also, even if they don't export, but they're growing within the country, they are supplying in the country quality products and services. That's also a measure of their success for us. Huh?
And what do you plan to share with all the other entrepreneurs from all over the world, some of the best practices that the Malaysian government has practiced? Or what do you wish to learn from other entrepreneurs from all over the world?
In the past few years that I've been working very closely with Ernst & Young on the Entrepreneur of the Year award, as well as our own awards at home, whether it's the Innovation Award or the Anugerah Kecemerlang in industry that we've been involved in, I've been able to learn and understand and appreciate the stories that these entrepreneurs have. They have amazing stories of their struggle, of their tenacity, of their ability to get up and innovate in the face of failure, and each of them have got their own story to tell. Some have had difficulties accessing finance, but still managed to pull together resources, whether it's a family or friends, and move up. These are important stories that we share with others, so that they know that they are not alone, that their experience is not unique. There are others who've gone through this process and made it. So it's, for me, that story that these people have, it's important to share how they have managed to innovate, how they be creative, so that they get up. Once, it doesn't mean that if you encounter certain difficulties, that's the end of the line. But having said that, I also notice that it is in the DNA of entrepreneurs to keep going and doing interesting things, and trying to reinvent themselves. That is a very unique aspect of being an entrepreneur.
EYSF, let's talk about EY's effort to promote entrepreneurship in Malaysia. We've seen prominent figures such as Tan Sri Ekinaden, Tan Sri Luki Sin, Datuk Tan Sri Jim. Yes, these are all huge names. And what do you make of EY's effort to promote entrepreneurship? And what do you say to entrepreneurs out there who are yet to maybe try out EOY?
Yeah, I think what Ernst & Young has done is to have a very structured way of analysing the impact and the success of the entrepreneurs, the Malaysian entrepreneurs.
So it's not just about dollars and cents, right?
It's not just about dollars and cents. It's about their story, their journey, how far they have come, what they've made of themselves, and then how they have given back. I think when EY looks at it, especially for the master entrepreneur, you are not looking just at the dollars and cents. That's important, but that is not the only criteria. At that level, when they are coming to an international competition of this sort, it is a given that they are successful. But what is more important is what they're doing to give back, and that is a key factor for us when we're looking at that. Now, coming back to the development aspect, what opportunities it provides, they have the emerging entrepreneur category, and that is really a chance for the young ones, the younger entrepreneurs who are just beginning, to show their mettle, to show what they have gone through and how they have overcome challenges even at that young phase of their career as entrepreneurs. And this international one here just provides us the opportunity to benchmark, to hear the other stories, to learn from their stories, and that I think is the most important deliverable for me from a session like this. You hear the stories of the other entrepreneurs who've made it, and to learn and see how they have overcome difficulties. One, two, what they're doing now to give back to society and to facilitate the sustainability of businesses, whether it's in their own industry or even their country. And those are important things to learn from here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Itu tadi Datuk Dr. Rebecca Fatimah Stamaria, Ketua Setiausaha Kementerian Perdagangan Antarabangsa dan juga Industri, membincangkan tentang peranan kerajaan dan juga dalam usaha untuk membantu usahawan serta peranan Ernst & Young dalam mempromosikan keusahawanan di Malaysia. Saya Rizal Zakapli melaporkan untuk Astro Awani, Monte Carlo.